From now on, for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on, for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on, for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. And with that determination, we can gently, lovingly notice the flat piece of flesh at the top of the head. We allow it to be heavy and changing. We continue in this manner to the forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the head to be heavy. Make sure your eyes are a little bit open and you see the floor in front of you. And we continue to the neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the upper part of the body to be heavy. We continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles, toes, tips of toes, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body to be heavy and changing. See if you can experience that heaviness. We are curious about that heaviness. We want to feel it, and we want to increase it. Now we can consider impermanence and unreliability in other parts of the body, the skin, bones, kidneys, heart, liver, spleen, lungs, intestines, brain, phlegm, blood, sweat, fat, urine, and we allow all of the parts of this body to be impermanent and unreliable. We give them the freedom to be the way they are. And we relax. We are not in a hurry anywhere. And now we can look at the mind. See if there are any thoughts in the mind. If you notice any thought, look at the condition that leads to arising of that thought. And if you don't see any thought, well, then look at your attitude to the fact that there is no thought. So whatever happens in the mind, you want to know it now. You may like to keep your hands connected one on another, keep them in the lap. So be mindful of where are your hands. They should be connected. You keep one hand on the other and keep them on the lap. So I'm saying it again, you keep one hand on another and keep them in the lap. And now, as we have accepted the reality of our mind and the body, we can notice that there is peace. The more we can accept the reality of the body and the mind, the less we scratch here and there, the less we move and try to find what's wrong, the more peace we can actually experience. In the beginning, we will be disturbed by various itchy places, by various ideas, what to do, what not to do. But if we can accept, if we can let go, then we achieve peace. Or in another way, we get meal, we get clothes to dress, we have roof above our head, and that also is a kind of peace. We are well off in comparison to many people in the world. So we can enjoy that fact Nobody is beating our head with a metal rod. Nobody is insulting us with bad words. So we are in peace. We enjoy that peace. Now let's share that peace with other living beings. We can start in our room, and we allow all the beings, visible, invisible, small, including bacteria, all the way to any visible beings, to enjoy at least as much peace and support as we enjoy ourselves. So we can wish, may all beings in this room be in peace. May all beings in this room be in peace. And we gradually expand our thought of loving kindness. May all beings in this building be in peace. May all beings in this city or village be in peace. May all beings in this country be in peace. May all beings on this continent be in peace. May all beings on this planet be in peace. May all beings, including me, be in peace. Now, because the time for this sitting is finished, we will make the last determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. And with that determination, we can slowly, mindfully change the way of our sitting. And we will take one more minute, during which we will not move at all, and observe what's going on in the mind. Okay, so I saw we had quite a lot of difficulties. Albert, did you hear me? I called you 3 times during meditation. Did you know that? Do you know that? How did I call you? What did I say? Yes, I called you 3 times during the meditation practice. Do you know how I called you? Did you meditate? Or did you think about some things? I had the feeling that you have totally no idea what I'm talking about. Did you hear me well? Yes. I said that you should keep your hands one on another in your lap. Do you remember that I said anything like that?
Yes, I remember.
Yes. Do you remember that I said it 3 times?
Yes.
Yes. But at that time your hands actually were separated. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Uh-huh. So when we meditate, we keep one hand on another, connected thumbs, and that is kept in the lap. Yes. Your hands were traveling here and there, sometimes on a knee, sometimes in front, sometimes on the lap, and the other hand was always traveling somewhere else. Then in the beginning they met, and at the end they also met. But during the meditation practice, they were going here and there. Did you notice that your hands were moving here and there?
Yes.
And you were also scratching a lot. Did you sweat, or do you feel hot in your place?
Well, it's hot in here. It's hot in my room, so I have the fan on.
Yes, but you had a coat, or how do you call that? Do you call this pullover or coat, or how do you call this thing you have on yourself?
Sometimes I wear a towel.
No, I mean now you are wearing t-shirt, and over your t-shirt you are wearing something. How do you call it? Do you call it a coat, or do you call it a pullover? Sorry?
A hoodie.
Hoodie. Can you please type it up in the chat box? I want to know how do you spell it? Hoodie. Do you read it hoodie?
Yeah.
Okay. So you could have you could have kept your hoodie out, and maybe you would have felt more comfortable, right? Hmm. Okay, so that's for next time. And also, I felt Albert, that you are sitting in the tailor's posture. Can you show me how were you sitting during meditation? Yeah, that's a tailor's posture, right? That's yes. Yeah, I don't think you were sitting like this, however. Um, so you may like to keep something under your bum, maybe some pillow or yes,
A cushion?
a cushion. Yes. Do you have a cushion you could keep under yourself?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's not it. Could you have something higher than that? Maybe 3 times higher than that? Jeffrey, how did you feel about meditation? I saw again you had hair in your eyes, and I felt like your eyes are closed. Did you keep your eyes closed during meditation, Jeffrey?
No, I had them slightly open.
You had them slightly open? Okay, then that's good. And what about the hair? Didn't the hair disturb your eyes?
It wasn't really the hair, it was just more like, I don't know, it was just...
Uh-huh. Wouldn't you like to keep your hair bound by some clip or something?
Yeah.
Shuri, did you already explain to or help Jeffrey to find a technique for that?
No, but I will.
Okay. So will you do that today or tomorrow?
I'll do it today.
Okay, nice. So, Albert, your legs would not be included on the cushion, only your bum. So can you sit a little bit forward? Yes. Okay, okay. That seems to be better, but it's still not it. Albert, you should not have any pressure on your feet, so the feet should be kept separately on the floor or whatever it is. And you can also open the knees a little bit more. Do you know how to do that? So you make your knees a little bit wider. You push your knees a little bit wider. Can you do that? Take your knees and push them wider. Yes, that's too much. But you need, yes, okay. And do you see how Shuri is sitting? If you could sit like Shuri, that would be good. Okay, that looks good. Do you feel comfortable in that? Okay. Do you think you can remember this until our next class? Alright. Do you sometimes meditate alone, or do you just meditate during our classes? Albert?
I just
Sometimes you meditate alone. If you meditate alone, how long time do you meditate?
15 minutes or so.
15 minutes. Okay. And during those 15 minutes, do you think you can stay without any movement, or do you also sometimes scratch here and there and move your hands?
Sometimes I have to stretch.
I see.
I take a little.
So what about Albert? What about if you meditate instead of 15 minutes, you meditate just 5 minutes, and you make a strong determination that you will not scratch, even if it is the itchiest in the world. Okay, and then if you can make 5 minutes like this without scratching at all, let's say 2 weeks, then you can increase it to 7 minutes, and then after those 2 weeks, 10 minutes. You know, it's extremely important that we keep our hands connected and the thumbs connected throughout the 15 minutes. They should not separate. No way to separate. Okay, Albert. And Jeffrey had also that problem with his hands. I saw that he had difficulty to keep his hands. Your hands are separate. Are connected. You can keep them connected also like this. I keep them connected like this on the lap, so it's more comfortable. You know, and it's comfortable. So I never separate my hands during meditation. You know, there's no reason to do that. So please make sure that your hands, your fingers are one hand is on the other. Thumbs are connected either like this or like this. That's okay, no problem, but they need to be connected. So if one hand goes somewhere else, the other one will have to follow. If that one goes, the other one will have to follow. You cannot disconnect them during meditation. They need to be connected. You need to somehow make it, during the 15 minutes. All right. So let's look at our chanting. Yes, you can, everyone can come closer to your device. Pyo and the other people, so altogether 3 people are on a vacation, probably in the US, traveling there from the UK. We should have had 3 more students today, but as you can see, it didn't turn out well. So please everyone unmute yourself and we will start the recitation. This is the last time we recite from the paper. Starting from the next week, you will be reciting without paper, just repeating after me. So let's see if you can do that. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. Aham bhante tisaraṇena saha pañcasīlaṃ dhammam yācāmi. Anuggaham katvā sīlaṃ detha me bhante anukampaṃ upādāya. Dutiyampi aham bhante tisaraṇena saha pañcasīlaṃ dhammam yācāmi. Anuggaham katvā sīlaṃ detha me bhante anukampaṃ upādāya. tatiyampi aham bhanti tisaranena saha pañcasīlaṃ dhammam yācāmi anuggaham katvā sīlaṃ deta me bhante anukampaṃ upādāya. Very well. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saranagamaṇaṃ paripurnaṃ. So now come the 5 precepts. So we took the 3 refuges. We take the refuge in the Buddha's teachings, Dhamma, and the community of monks, Sangha, because they show us the way, they guide us how to be happy in this life and in the next life. And one of their such guidance is to follow the 5 precepts. So the first precept means I follow the precept of refraining from killing living beings. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. The second precept means I follow the precept of refraining from taking what is not given. That means we never steal. Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. The third precept means I follow the rule of refraining from sexual misconduct, which means we never commit adultery, we never cheat on our husband or wife if we have one. Kame sumicchācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Next rule is I follow the rule of refraining from false speech. We never tell lies. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. And the last precept means I follow the precept of refraining from drinking alcohol and taking drugs. Sura meraya majjapamadatthana. Veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. So now I will encourage you everyone to protect these 3 refuges and follow these 5 precepts and be mindful. If you're mindful, you can notice that there is a mind of anger, or that there is mind of greed, or that there is mind of illusion, of laziness, or of restlessness, and then you can do something about that. So when you have mind of anger, then you apply loving kindness. When you have mind of greed, then you apply the understanding that everything is impermanent and that it doesn't make sense to be greedy. When you have mind of laziness, you realize that any moment we can actually die. So you realize how valuable is life we have, and we need to take care. We need to make use of every single moment that we have in the best way we can. And if you see that you are restless, then you can consider your muscles and gradually relax your muscles, relax your mind, and achieve peace. So this is what you can do if you are mindful, because you notice that you need to do something. Also, if you are mindful and you notice you're peaceful, satisfied, happy, that you see impermanence, you can see the conditionality, you have intention to be generous, intention to follow the 5 precepts, then because you're mindful, you appreciate those thoughts and you grow those thoughts. And then after I encourage you in protecting the 3 refuges, following the 5 precepts and being mindful, you can then reply Ama Bhante, which means yes, Venerable Sir. So let's do that together. Tisaraṇa saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammāṃ sādhukāṃ surakkhitāṃ katvā appamadena sampadetha. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana. Very well, thank you very much. And now let's look at our notes from the book right away. So I will ask Jeffrey to read his note for us. So so far the plan was that we read only half of that chapter, of chapter 13, and the second half we would read the second half during the following week. Okay, so Jeffrey, yes.
Behavioral addictions are just as insidious as chemical addictions because they make use of the same brain circuits. This is why, whether it's gambling, interacting on social media, or snorting coke, teenagers are particularly susceptible to the rush of good feelings that comes with stimulating the brain's reward centers. And addiction, of course, may not be the only hazard of internet obsession. A 2006 study reported that in the Annals of General Psychiatry looked at the link between video games and symptoms of ADHD in adolescents and found that more symptoms and more severe symptoms of ADHD and inattention were found in adolescents who played video games for just 1 hour or more a day.
Okay, Jeffrey, do you also write notes in your notebook, either on a computer or by hand? Okay, so Jeffrey, I will ask you to keep a notebook and write the notes there. I wish that everyone please reads their notes from their notebook and not from the book, because the idea of writing notes is not just that I make sure that you read the chapter, and that we share what is in the book, but I want to teach you the skill of writing notes and the wealth that you gain when you write notes. When you write notes, you will have your book, which has, let's say, 350 pages, in 20 pages. So then, let's say after 20 years, when somebody tells you, hey, there's this wonderful book, it's called The Teenage Brain, and you'll say, yeah, I've actually read it. and they will tell you, they will ask you, so what do you remember from that book? And you say, well, give me some time, I'll check it out, or I'll take my notes. And you can then take your notes, and within an hour or two, you read your notes, and you actually know the book again. So it's really precious to write down the notes and have them separately, so that you have your book in your own concise form. And if also if someone argues with you and they say, you know what, it's actually a good idea to drink alcohol, it gives me more energy, and then you would say, no, that's not true, it actually has been found there is a problem with that. And they will say, so give me the reference. If you have it in the computer, which I would actually advise to everyone to keep it in your computer, but if you write it down, you will actually remember it longer. So if you have it in the computer, you can make more use of it in the future. If you write it down, you will remember it longer. So in both cases there are advantages, so it depends on you which one you like more. And then you would just show that person the citation, the exact citation, where it is and what does it exactly say. And you would have just that one notebook, let's say with 20 books, notes from 20 books, notes from 50 books, and you have them all in your one single notebook. You would not have to go into your library or in your room and search for the book and not find it because you lent it to someone or because somebody took it, and then not have it anyway. So it's really good to have notes. It is very good idea to write them by your hand. That's all perfect. And if you want to outsource the power of notes even more, I would like to recommend you all to install Evernote in your devices and write your notes in the Evernote software. Evernote works in all devices. It works even in a browser. It works on Windows, on Mac, even on a phone. Okay, so next let's call Albert, please.
The chariot was temporal globe.
Yes. And please read for us only short portion. Okay, maximum one sentence, please.
The chariot temporal area is where speech and language are processed, and the frontal lobe controls decision making.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. Yaza? Yaza, are you sure that if someone enters the room, they will not bump into you by the door?
Door right there. This looks odd.
Yeah, that's why I say it. Are you sure if someone enters in the room, they will not bump into you by the door? Hopefully not.
Reasonably far from where I am.
Okay, anyway. So please let us know your note, please.
Alright. All of them?
Excuse me?
All of them?
No, just one. Choose one, and please read maximum one sentence.
Alright. Multitasking or attempting to multitask can actually make doing that or those tasks much slower.
Is that from the chapter 13?
Yeah.
That must be from some later part, right? You have read all of the chapter?
Yeah.
Okay. For today we read only the first half of the chapter. The second half is for the next week. No problem. So next week you don't have you don't have a homework. Good. Shuri?
The cascade of
neural processes that kicks off the brain's reward circuitry, and the rush of the pleasure chemical dopamine can be triggered just as easily by the release of the latest iPhone as by alcohol, pot, sex, or a fast car.
Yes, thank you very much. My note: it seems that a modest amount of gaming, like any form of learning, can actually be good for the brain. And I really like the explanation, the study from the Max Planck, that they actually found that gaming, learning, that gaming actually can increase your working memory and visual how do you call it, visual spatial skills. So it's the idea is not that all internet device, electronic devices are bad for you. Nobody says that. But the idea is that you need to use them modestly, that you need to be wise in your use. So monitor how much time you spend with your devices and how much time you spend with your life. When I get some time to get off from this machine, then I call it to live. I say, now finally I can live. Because when you're in the machine, you're in the kind of like virtual world. It's not real. And it is good, it is very healthy to live the real world as well. So we don't want to be wired like how do you call them? These people who have parts of their body made of computer. How do you call them? Anyone knows? How do you call people who have some parts of their body exchanged for computers and for mechanical parts?
No.
There's a special word for that. Cyborgs. Do you know what's a cyborg? Have you heard the word? Yes. Yes, that kind of thing. Cyborgs. So you don't want to be cyborgs, right? As you are wired to these devices, and as you cannot live without those devices, you actually become cyborgs. So be careful about that. Okay, so in the remaining 5 minutes, I would like to introduce you to our first story in our drawing group in Facebook. Now, I would like to ask, does anyone here know that I have already uploaded the story, and did you already read it? If you have already read the story, please raise your Zoom hand. Nobody. But who here knows that I have uploaded a story in Facebook for drawing? Do you know that? If you do, please raise your hand. Your mom told you something?
I think I tried.
Okay, so now I will not only show you that we have that story, but I will also tell you what is in that story to make sure that you know at least a little bit what's there, and maybe also feel encouraged to read it. I'm sending you the link to the story in the Zoom chat box. We don't have much time, but I think we can get at least some basics. So here you can everyone see Buddhism drawing for kids? Can you see it? If yes, please nod. Thank you. And there we have our first story. Oops. Okay. We have there our first story, and that is Jātaka. Number 1. We will be reading Jātakas. Jātakas are stories from the Buddha's previous lives. Not this life. Previous life. So we believe that we have uncountable previous lives. So before you were born in this life, in your previous life, you could have been a human, an animal, a god, a ghost, or a being in hell. And these Jātakas, they are about the previous lives of the Buddha. The first part, before the 3 sons, explains what happened during the Buddha's time. That's what happened when the Buddha already was the Buddha. That was during his last life. So in that case, a merchant came to the Buddha with his friends, and they became Buddhists. But when the Buddha left, these friends forgot about the Buddha and they returned to their previous religious teachers, non-Buddhist teachers. When the Buddha came again, they again listened to the teachings and again became followers of the Buddha. The Buddha left, and again they returned to the non-Buddhist teachers. So like this, it happened like 3 times, and when the Buddha came for the 4th time, he explained to them, you decided to follow the wrong leader also in your past life, not only in this life. And then the Buddha explains the story how they, in their past life, actually followed a wrong leader merchant, whereas he himself, the Buddha, in his past life as a Buddha to be, was a wise merchant, and he had his followers. The followers of the foolish merchant, they ended up to be killed by ogres, whereas the followers of the Buddha to be, they happily could traverse a long distance, a long journey, all the way to a far distant country to sell rare goods and make a lot of money. So that's the story. Then after you finish the reading of the story, I would very much appreciate if you can also make a drawing. Now hopefully here you can see that some people made a drawing, and I would love to see your drawing as well. So Yaza added a drawing. Nice, thank you very much. So if you can make a drawing, it will make me very happy. It is not compulsory though. That's all. Thank you very much. Sir, you can go if you want.
Goodbye, Venerables.
Yes, thank you. Goodbye. So does anyone have any question about this? No question. Thank you very much for coming. Yes, Yaza?
So you said you're gonna be posting the story every week, right?
I'm sorry. Yes, every week. But because we didn't have enough drawings this week, I decided to extend it and to change the system. So instead of just posting there some story and waiting until someone reads it, I will post a story and tell it to you. Tell it to you all, like today. Like I told you what's in the story. And then after I tell you about the story, after I show you that there is the story, then you will have 7 days to do your drawing. To make sure that you all know that the story is there and that I'm waiting for the drawing, and somehow understand what the story is about, so that you're not too confused by the old language of the story. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may all your wishes be soon fulfilled.
Goodbye, Venerable Sir.
Bye, Venerable Sir.
Yes, Jeffrey, will you greet me also?
Goodbye, Venerable Sir.
Nice, thank you.